there is some light at the end of the tunnel. It is starting to warm up slowly, and very soon the fleas and ticks, well, they're going to be here to enjoy the warmer weather as well.
Dr. Nikki Eaton is here this morning from the Animal Hospital of Polaris to talk about keeping the critters off of our pets. Good morning.
Yes, how are you?
Oh, fantastic. I'm feeling, you know what? This one is so sweet.
Sweet.
She's so wonderful. She looks like a boy that we lost a few months ago. So.
This is how I met my husband, was her.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, she came in as a puppy and she had all these problems, so I was constantly seeing him, and then we get married.
There you go.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
you got a couple of those you can spare?
Yes, you are.
Hey, what do you
Such a
know?
Good girl.
Well, let's talk about fleas and ticks. And, you know, a lot of people don't know what to look for, or you hear about them, but
Right.
if you haven't seen them, I think we even have a picture you can describe for us what we're going to be looking for.
So 40 degrees, right? It's going to be 40 degrees.
Yeah, we're going to get there today.
Ticks come out in 40 degrees, even
They
if there's
do?
snow. Yes.
Wow.
And they start looking for their hosts. And so their primary hosts usually are dogs, cats, it could be squirrels, any type of wildlife.
Right.
So we can start seeing the ticks, yes. And there's a picture right there, and they
Okay.
are very
How
small.
small.
Yeah, they are, and a lot of people don't see them. By the time people see them is when they've already taken their blood meal.
Right.
They can transmit diseases,
Oh, look.
and that's when you can see them because they're all engorged.
Because they get a little bit bigger.
And
Yes.
so the two types, is there a big difference in what we're looking at, or do you know which one's which?
I
or-
don't, because I
Okay.
don't have my glasses
Yeah,
on.
it's kind
I
of far away.
apologize.
But which ones are the dangerous ones for pets?
You know what? They all
They all are?
transmit. They can transmit Lyme disease,
Right.
Ehrlichia, Rocky Mountain spotted fever.
Okay.
So they can transmit all different types of diseases.
Okay.
Wow.
And,
And
we're
they-
seeing more and more Lyme.
Do you have to be in a
this
particular
area.
place to pick them up, or they're anywhere?
Oh, they're anywhere.
Okay.
Ticks can be anywhere. So, I mean, I practice up in the Lewis Center area, and ultimately people are coming in and
Sure.
they're like, "What is this?" And I'm like, "Oh, that's a tick."
Yeah.
So,
And they
yes.
say, ooh, gross.
Yes.
How do I get rid of it?
Yes.
What do you do?
Well, you know, for me, first and foremost is always prevention.
Okay.
So there is prevention that we can put on our dogs in order to prevent ticks from attaching to
Right.
them. But if you do have a tick, you know, take tweezers, pluck them out.
We've heard about don't leave the head in the, is that what
Yeah,
happens?
That's what happens sometimes.
Do you
So-
smother them to get them out of there, or what makes them
No,
release?
I would just take the tweezers
Nothing?
and just
Just pull it out.
pull it
Pop it
right
right
out.
out.
But you know, a lot of times people come in and we have a technician do it for our
Yeah,
clients,
yeah.
and we don't really charge them anything
Okay,
for it. And then
good.
we talk about, okay, what can we do to prevent
Okay,
this?
so let's prevent. What
So
do we do?
before we
Okay.
get there,
Yes, so prevention for me is always the key, right?
Right.
Fleas, ticks, heartworm, whatever it may be. So we have lots of different products here. I'm going to show you actually how to put Activil on Sydney. And this is a topical, and this does do fleas and ticks.
so is
good,
that one of
okay.
the squeezy things you put in the, okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, that's one of the squeezy things. Now we also have collars too,
Mm-hmm.
and I brought cat stuff too because we can't forget about the cats.
Right.
And a
But
lot of
are these
people-
as effective?
You know what? This came out last year, and a lot of my clients have been very happy with them.
Okay.
Now, these are not the regular collars that you usually buy in the pet store. These are sold through veterinarians in a new technology.
Okay.
It doesn't stink. It doesn't have that white, fluffy
Oh.
stuff. It works actually very, very well. 8 months it works for.
Because you wonder, you know, if your kids, if they're wearing one of these, your
Exactly.
kids are hugging on the
Right.
dog. You know what's
Exactly. You have
happening
to
there.
worry about that. So
Okay.
you don't have to worry about that with that new
So show
technology.
us how to apply Activil.
Okay.
Is there a certain place that's important?
Well, what's important is I always tell people is you always look. She thinks it's food.
thinks
Of
it's a
course, she
treat.
thinks it's food. We want to do it in 4 spots down the back. So that's usually what I always tell people is
Oh,
4
so it's
spots.
not just right behind the neck.
So the key is look at all that liquid that you
Yeah.
have there. You don't want to put that in one spot.
No,
that would be,
Right.
you know,
Right,
greasy
right.
and everything. So I'll get up here.
Come here, sweetheart.
She'll be good for you.
Come here. Come here.
So all we do is,
Hold still.
she got her hair cut yesterday, but if you have a long-haired dog, you want to part the fur so that you see the skin.
Okay.
And it's not like an exact science. So what I do is I just kind of put it in a couple of spots there, and then I'll finish it off right there.
And not under her,
That's
not
it.
around
So
her
you didn't
neck.
put it up
no,
here.
no, I usually don't put it in the neck area, to be honest
Okay.
with you, because collars and everything are there. So I don't want to cause any irritation or anything
Right,
like that.
right.
Some people are concerned that their pets have a reaction to those types
Yes.
of medicines. And what happens and what do you look for?
Well, some of the things that you will look for is, first and foremost, never use dog medication on cats.
Yeah.
And cats are different. I do put the cats right between their ears because we don't want cats to groom themselves
'Cause they'll
and lick
lick
it.
it. Okay,
Okay?
okay.
But never put dog on cat. So cats are not little dogs, even
Right.
if you have the little dog dose.
Right.
Never, ever do that.
Okay.
But what we do see sometimes is we can see reactions. The simplest reactions, I just don't like it, it's cold, I rub. I've seen reactions of redness, irritation, that type of things. But
Okay.
Marshall was telling me about his cat,
We had a
which
cat
is very
that
rare.
we thought we were going to lose him there for a minute because he had a really bad reaction to it, and it was the kind that went right back here on his neck.
Yes.
And he still walks funny to this
Really?
day. We
Some
think that's why.
neurologic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's very rare.
Yeah. So fortunately, most pets react just fine to
Just
this
fine.
thing.
Yes.
And
Yes.
probably, you know, I've heard some things about the buy 'em at the grocery store brands versus the veterinary brands.
You know, I'm going to be very honest with you. You may be able to save money at the grocery store, but the veterinary brands are so much better. They're
Right.
safer. There's lots of FDA regulations.
Okay.
You know, Marshall, if his cat had a reaction and he went to the veterinarian, you as a veterinarian have to call the company and say, look, they had a reaction. So they keep that on file, and then they do research into why those things happen.
So a lot of
Prevent it
reasons.
next
But
time.
get it going now. Who thought, huh?
Yes. Yes.
You're such a good girl.
You did
Thank you.
great.
Good job. Good
And Dr.
job.
Nikki's going to be sticking around. As a matter of fact, she'll be in our social media cafe.